Hi folks, and welcome back to my Skyrim Dawnguard walkthrough with the mighty Jingles. When we left you last, we'd just been transformed into a vampire by Lord Harkon, and he's told us to go and speak to this guy, Garen Marethi, in order to, well, we're about to find out. So, let's join the game where we left it.
I saw more than enough political maneuvering in my time in House Dress. I was tired of it then, and I'm tired of it now. Lord Harkon, remember your place. Now what is our Lord's wish? Well, well. He wants the chalice then. You've heard of the Bloodstone Chalice?
Never heard of it.
It is a rather well-kept secret. The chalice has been in Lord Harkon's possession for quite some time now. It is, when used properly, able to increase the potency of our powers. He has neglected using it for ages. If he wants it filled now, then grander things are afoot. This is good. Follow me. I'll take you to it. Lord Harkon has never cared to use the chalice, relying on his more than adequate power till now. This is an intriguing and here we are. Now, this chalice needs to be filled directly from the blood spring that is the source of Redwater Den. But that's not enough. Once that's done, the blood of a powerful vampire needs to be added to it. Keep in mind that Redwater Den has fallen into, well, let's just say less reputable members of society now dwell there. It's your choice whether to attempt to deal with them or force your way through. Hurry back. You don't want to keep Lord Harkon waiting.
So, we're off to Redwater Spring, and something tells me that this isn't going to be nearly as straightforward as you might imagine.
Hold it. If you're going downstairs, you keep your weapons to yourself, or we'll be getting better acquainted. Head on in, and behave yourself.
Okay, it's a skooma den. It's full of drug addicts. Well, as a vampire lord, you have a completely new skill tree, and the only way to increase your levels in that skill tree is to kill things as a vampire. Now the drug dealer down there is sitting inside an armoured kiosk, and the only way to actually kill her is she will fire at you through the cages with her bow and arrow, so you basically need to get yourself out of line of sight and force her to come to you. One of the drawbacks of being in Vampire Lord form is that, well, first of all, we're very, very susceptible to fire damage. So if anybody starts throwing fireballs around, you need to, you know, not suck. The other drawback is you can't actually interact with anything. You can't loot anything. You can't pick locks. So you have to revert back to human form. in order to do the mundane stuff like this.
There you are.
Yeah, as you can see, fire damage really hurts, but we've absorbed enough blood there to be able to use a perk. And here you go, the Vampire Lord perk tree. The first one that you see is an extra, well, substantial bonus to health, magic and stamina when you're a Vampire Lord. So we're going to take that, that's going to come in handy. On health here, so we're going to use our life drain power to kill these thralls and recharge our health. Again, we're going to have to revert form here if we want to be able to pick this lock. There is actually a mod out there that will allow you to do all this sort of stuff while you're in vampire form. And as is true with so many things in Skyrim, if there's something about the game you don't like, find a mod and change it. I guarantee you won't be the first person who've thought, that could be better. And somebody will have written a mod that will allow you to do whatever it is you want to do. Now, while you're fighting stuff in Vampire Lord form, you are very powerful, but you do have certain weaknesses. As mentioned, you're specifically weak to things like fire. But one of the other drawbacks is that you can't use magic, and you can't use magic items like my Daedric bow here, which I have enchanted with Soul Trap. Unfortunately, right there, I don't actually have a spare soul gem large enough to trap that guy's soul. So if you're relying on using soul gems for enchanting, you're going to have to keep using normal form and normal weapons with soul trap enchants or casting soul trap spells on people in order to keep charging your soul gems. You can't do it as a Vampire Lord. Of course, one of the other things that you can't do as a Vampire Lord is sneak. So those of you who, like me, who've been leveling your character up as a sort of sneaky assassin type person, playing as a Vampire Lord is a significant change in playstyle.
So why don't you just drink the blood from the spring? I mean, That seems easier than running a skooma den.
The boss said it's some sort of profaned spring. It looks like blood, but it's not the real thing. Drinking it gives you strength, but it also gets you pretty messed up. That's why we thought of putting it in the school.
Okay, useful to know. Now let's mess somebody up.
Did you hear something?
Uh-oh. Alright, that didn't go according to plan. And those spikes hurt. Oh, right, this is gonna be painful. Now what I should have done here was use my bats skill, which is kind of like the Whirlwind Rush Dragon Shout, which, there we go, you can see it selected at the top there, and I didn't use it. And it basically, you zoom forward, you turn into a cloud of bats and zoom forward 20 yards. That would have gotten me through that trap without taking any damage. Speaking of traps, I seem to have set one off. There's an arrow trap in there as well, so I've taken quite a nasty bit of damage there. But in human form, you can use your healing spells. Well, here it is. Now, what surprises do you think are waiting for me?
It's really too bad. A little accident.
Lord Harkon's complete. Dead so soon after joining the band.
We're just lucky I was here to return the chalice to Bengalmo so he could make sure Harkon gets it back.
Wait, what? That's not what we agreed. We take it back together.
Idiot. You didn't really think I'd let you walk out of here either, did you? Bengalmo wants you both dead.
Well, that's just fine. Northyong told me to finish off anyone who got in the way.
You can't hide
Over
from
here.
me.
You know, you'd think as Master Vampires these noobs would have learned to use fire magic on me, but hey, they did say I needed to fill the chalice with the blood of a powerful vampire. So, thanks for showing up, you two backstabbing bitches. And there you go, quest complete. So, back home, turning.
Sit down and enjoy yourself.
I see you have returned. Lord Harkon will be pleased. You met Stolf and Salonia, I assume? Lord Harkon and I suspected they might follow you there. As well you should have. Welcome to the politics of Lord Harkon's court. Vingalmo and Orthiolf both long for our Lord's throne, but cannot make overt moves against him. Each sought to gain power by using his underling to kill you and keep the chalice for himself. By ensuring the chalice reaches our Lord, you have increased his power over them, and at the same time, deprived them of their little pets. You've done Lord Harkon 2 great services. Take what you've learned to heart, and be careful who you trust. Now, I believe that Lord Harkon wishes to speak with you.
Right, time to go and speak to the boss man.
Ah, you are here. Good. Yes, I did. When I told you that I was grateful for my daughter's safe return, I told the truth. But I did not tell you everything.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Do not presume to tell me who I can and cannot trust. I possess the wisdom of a 12 lifetimes, and I will make my own judgments. Now be silent and hear what I have to say. As you know, vampires are powerful, but we have limits. Our great enemy is the sun. And until recently, it's an enemy we've had no way to fight. For centuries, I searched for an answer to this problem. I found an old prophecy written by a Moth priest. Those scholars who read the Elder Scrolls. The prophecy tells of a time in which vampires will gain power over the sun and will no longer fear its tyranny. I believe the secret to unraveling that prophecy is written in Serana's Elder Scroll. I have ordered the court to assemble. I have a new task for us all to carry out, and that includes you. Come now, and hear my proclamation. Scions of the night, hear my words. The prophesied is at last upon us. Soon we will claim dominion over the sun itself, and forge a new realm of eternal darkness. Now that I have reclaimed one of my Elder Scrolls, we must find a Moth priest to read it. I have spread false rumors about the discovery of an Elder Scroll in Skyrim to lure a Moth priest here. Now it is time to see if those efforts have borne fruit. Go forth. Search the land for rumors of a Moth priest within our borders. Look to the cities. Speak to innkeepers, carriage drivers, anyone who would meet a traveler. Go now, and carry out this task. This is my command.
It will be done, my lord.
Any idea how you're going to find a Moth priest? Skyrim's a pretty big place. Well, back before the College of Winterhold was the first place I'd think to go for any kind of magic or historical thing. The wizards know about all kinds of things that people probably shouldn't know about. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to come along with you. I've been really wanting to get out and explore a bit.
Well, going to the College of Magic isn't a bad idea, but we're looking for an unusual traveller. And who carries unusual travellers? Carriage drivers. So that seemed like a logical place for me to start looking.
Like those eyes you got. bad hunger to them. Need a ride? It's one of them Imperial scholars, right? Old man with a gray robe. Might be that I have, but I can't say for sure. I got enough troubles on my mind just trying to scrape by out here. Now that I think on it, I did see your priest. They tried to hire me for a trip to Dragonbridge, but I told him that ain't one of my stops.
That was easy. So, off to Dragonbridge.
Imagine blowing up an entire town. Damn college. Winterhold would never be the same. Ah, so that was a Moth priest then. He rode through town not long ago with an escort of soldiers. They didn't stop. We headed south across the Dragon Bridge. Until next time. You're that mage from the college, right? Your things have finally calmed down over there.
In case it wasn't obvious, you can actually wander around in the daylight as a vampire, but your powers are weakened, and your susceptibility to the sun increases the longer you go without feeding. But the longer you go without feeding, the more your powers increase and new powers unlock, so it's always a balancing act. We're not the only ones who are interested in this Moth priest, but what are these other vampires doing? Forebear's Holdout. Okay, that's where we're heading next. So we've arrived at Forebear's Holdout, which is a cave complex hidden away in the mountains. And somewhere in here, probably behind that glowing magical barrier over there, is a Moth priest being held captive by somebody. So we're just going to have to do something about that. But it looks like the Dawnguard got here ahead of us. Stay still, damn it. They don't know exactly where I am, but they know somebody's out here. So let's try to take advantage of that. Now that, where the guy flashed green when I hit him, was an advanced archery skill. It gives you a chance to paralyze when you hit somebody.
Those vampires put up a hell of a fight. You think they turned him?
I don't know. Maybe. Won't know until we get him out of here.
The ability to slow down time when you're aiming is also very, very handy. Combined with the random chance of paralysis, it makes very, very advanced archery a ridiculously overpowered skill to have. Now, I have to admit, the first couple of times I did this, I did it in Vampire Lord form, and that Moth Priest kicked my arse. He's a fire spell user, so top tip, don't be in Vampire Lord form when you're facing off this guy, unless you know you can kill him really, really quickly. I just found it so much easier just to do this. You need to do now is use your seduction power on him and then feed on him in order to turn him into one of your thralls. This is the first time I'd actually used my seduction power, so I had to actually have a good dig around and find the thing first. And this is why I had been taking so much damage from sunlight. Basically because in all the time I'd been a vampire, I'd never actually fed on anyone. There it is, vampire seduction. And there you can see the game's telling me feed on him to make him your thrall. And again, this is something I'm trying to find feed, and it turns out, you know, I'm looking for as the refeed ability, and it's actually really, really simple. When somebody has been seduced, you literally just talk to them, and you get two options: feed on them or engage them in conversation. It's as simple as that. So don't do what I did and waste your time looking through your spell book for a feed ability, because it just ain't there. So just in case I mess this up, I'm going for a save first. And there it is, simple as that. Note that when you do feed, you get the message there on the top of the screen, your vampiric powers recede as you feed. And that's the trade-off. Become more powerful by not feeding, but eventually the sun will just kill you.
By the divines, it's as if my eyes have been opened. I am blinded by the light of your majesty. I must obey you.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
What would you have of me, master? Certainly. Where can I find this castle? I will set out at once, then.
And that seems like a good place to stop this particular installment of Dawnguard. Join me next time when we continue the quest and things start getting seriously weird.